My pleasure to introduce our speaker today. I just met him this morning, and we had a few words together. But this is Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, and I got a little bio here from him. And in the Sermon by the Sea by Ernest Holmes, Ernest commented about the difference between knowing, practicing, and living science of mind and spirit. True liberation and freedom occurs when we truly embody the teaching. And so Reverend Anderson's mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, empower, awaken people. I got a little mixed up here, but active. The acronym is authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, empowered. And I recommend we all write that down at some point and carry it with us. Do you have like a little cards with that on there too? Yeah, nice, thank you. The Reverend Anderson is an Imagineer, professional educator, workshop and seminar facilitator, visual artist, performer, ASL interpreter, author, and lover of comics and film. All right.
Sweet.
I got to talk to you about the comics later. Some of the ones I remember maybe a little off key. All right, and he has been ordained 6 times, maybe even a 7th come up by here. And most recently as an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister. He serves as the founding minister, the spiritual director of the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, the Center for Spiritual Living, for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter, which we are. We're a teaching chapter, CSL as well here. And I'm sure there's a lot more, and we're going to hear that right now. So welcome, Dr. Raymont Anderson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Awesome.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're God and you know it, clap your hands. Good. Well, my time is done then. If you already know it. Okay, so where do we begin? Let us begin with, as was mentioned, Dr. Holmes talked about Sermon by the Sea. He said, show me 1,000 people, which I don't know yet if he meant 1,000 people literally or figuratively. But that's beside the point. Point is, he said if we reach a tipping point of 1,000 people who know what science of mind and spirit is, practice it, and live it as a way of life, that he would live to see a new world, a new earth, and a new heaven. Now, if that's literal, have we not reached 1,000 people who know what it is, practice, and live it as a way of life? Okay, let's assume that it's figurative. Then when do we reach the tipping point that says we have finally reached enough where enough of us truly understand? For example, taking the first point, if we were to have a quiz, like Jeopardy, bam, 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 you know the thing, where if you answer the question in an effective manner, you get $10,000. What is science of mind and spirit? But you cannot go to what it's not. Meaning, you can't start with, well, science of mind and spirit, well, it's sort of like this, but it's, just tell me what it is, right? Because a lot of times, when we're doing it, we go into disclaimers about it for a variety of reasons, but we go into disclaimers about it rather than this is what it is, this is what it means, and this is how you practice it and live it as a way of life. Breathe. There's a story called The Tea Master. And The Tea Master is, in essence, a story, for me, of what it means to reach this point of... Anybody in here speak Japanese? Okay, so in Japanese martial arts, not just martial arts, but I learned it through Japanese martial arts, there's this concept called Shuhare, which I'm going to get to in a moment, but keep that in mind. Mental note. Shuhare. Say it with me. Shuhare. Okay, good. You passed. Okay, so the concept of the tea master highlights this aspect of what Holmes is talking about. The abbreviated version of the story goes as such. In Japan, many, many eons ago, the feudal lord gifted his tea master, the person who makes the tea ceremony, gifted him with an amazing samurai sword as a gift to recognize and honor him for being the tea master. So the tea master takes the sword and he's like, oh, and he goes about his business. And he's traveling from one town to another, and he gets stopped by a samurai who says, you're not a samurai, you have no business with that sword. Tomorrow morning, sunrise, we will duel, and I will dispatch you. Tea master's like, I don't know how to use the sword, so what am I supposed to do? So he goes to sleep, and in the middle of the night, a ronin, a samurai without a master, without a lord, sees the fire, smells the food, falls asleep, and in the middle of the night wakes up, and the tea master's like, what? And he pokes him with a stick. He wakes up, draws his sword, they get ready to go at it. He's like, too much sake, sorry. And he apologizes and he puts the sword away, and they have a conversation. Tea master says, you're a samurai, you know how to use the sword. Yes, of course. Teach me. Why would I teach you? So he says, so I received this, and he's like, such a sword. Why do you have this sword? He's like, okay, so I make tea for the feudal lord, and and he tells the whole story. Okay, so why do you want me to teach you how to use it? So he explains the story. Samurai pauses and says, make tea for me, then I will teach you the way of the sword. Tea master gets down, takes his stuff out, sets it down, and he breathes. Takes out the tea, tap, tap, breathe. Heats up the water, pours, breathe. Whisk. Present. The samurai drinks it. He breathes. And he says, so now are you going to teach me the way of the sword? No. But I'm not. Pause, man. Simply, when you meet him tomorrow morning, make tea for him. So sunrise comes up. Tea master's there. The sword master shows up. And he gets ready to draw his sword. And tea master gets down and he lifts the samurai sword that he was gifted, closes his eyes, and he breathes. The samurai draws his blade and holds it up. The tea master slightly unsheaths and breathes. Pulls it out a little further and breathes. Opens his eyes and breathes. The samurai pauses and hesitates, steps back, resheaths his sword, and bows and apologizes. I apologize in great humility for offending someone with such mastery of the sword. Now, why is, because the samurai, come on now, the tea master is tea and it's a completely different thing. Because there's an ancient samurai maxim that says, the one who has attained mastery of a single art will reveal it in their every action. Have you ever been out shopping and you saw someone reach for a box of cornflakes and they did it in such a way where you're like, surely this person is a dancer because of how they move. They're not doing a relevated reach, right? They're not plie, it's cornflakes. But you see them move with such effortless grace. Do we do that with science of mind and spirit? Pythagoras said, know thyself, and when you know thyself, you will know the universe and God. Pause, full stop. Huh? Why? Why would knowing ourselves mean we also know the universe and God? Because there's no separation between. Meister Eckhart said, between me and God, there is no between. Where in you are you? If I were to say, let's get an x-ray machine, I'm going to look for Gretchen. Okay, Gretchen, stand over there in front of the x-ray machine. Okay, it's not there. Get the eyeball things, and we're going to optometrist in her. And then we look in her eyeballs, and it's not there. Don't laugh, Gretchen. And we look, it's an inside joke. And we're looking in her eyeballs for stuff, and we don't see her in the eyeballs. And okay, let's get the MRI machine, and we can't find Gretchen in. Why? Because who and what we are isn't simply in us. It is us. Whose pinky is this? Is it Eugene's pinky? It's Ray's pinky. Why? Because it is a part of the totality of what this body is as the being called Ray, but back of that and all throughout that, from the top of the head to the soles of the feet, it's God. It has to be. If God is a circle, circumference nowhere, center everywhere, then every single one of us is the fullness of it. We have to be. So now the question is, do we Tupperware consciousness our divinity? Do we relegate spirituality for the times when we are meditating or visioning or praying or journaling or walking through a labyrinth or doing something creative, but surely when I am in traffic and the magic middle finger wants to show up, clearly there I am not. No, you are the divine at all times. You are the divine in all ways and always. You have to be. There's no way to turn it off. How do you turn it off? You can't. So, if it's already present, it's already who and what we are, then what's our invitation? How do we step into this place of typically when we say a prayer, how does it end? How do you know you've reached the end? Unlike when Eugene and I pray where it's... That wasn't the end either. When typically something is said, how do you know? What is it?
So it is.
And so it is, or? Amen. That's how we conclude the prayer. Years ago in Unity, I learned this song, our thoughts are prayers, and we are sometimes, oh no, it's not sometimes, we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. If we're always praying, that means we're praying right now, even though I'm speaking and you're listening to me speak and laughing at me for some odd reason. That means we're praying right now. Then that means, where's the amen? There isn't one. Your life is your amen. Your life is the thing that says, and so it is. When you look at yourself in the mirror, do you see beauty reflecting back? Or do you see, oh, is that another gray hair? Do you criticize yourself? Because if you do, then that's your amen. Everything that we live, everything that we do, every way that we show up is the divine practice. It has to be. Wax on, wax off is all the time, not just sometimes. So prayer is how you wash dishes and are grateful. I'm sure we've heard that if the only prayer you were to ever speak was thank you, it would be enough. Why? Because you are feeling gratefulness. It doesn't matter what you say. Have you ever given a dog or a cat a treat? Well, I don't know. You might have a dog or a cat that speaks. Most of the ones that I've had weren't able to communicate. Thank you, Ray, for this delectable thing that you have given me, but tasty treats taste much better than this, so I'm going to pee in your shoe if you do not give me what I... So I don't know if that's what you have. Nonetheless, you give the treat. What do you see happen? Zoomies, tail just starts to go on, little pitter-patters. Is that not gratitude? They're not saying thank you. They're showing it by being it. Same thing with small children. They may not be able to speak it, but they show it. So what's more important? To hear thank you from someone when you know they're not truly thanking you for it, because you know we've had those thank you. They said it, but they didn't mean it. So what's more important? To feel it, to be it, or to simply say it? Our invitation is to be in that space, because what we are being informs the doing. If I am going to be a martial artist, I am going to be a dancer, I am going to be a whatever, then it means I must do whatever this being entails. How many people out here play some kind of musical instrument? Okay, what's the instrument?
Harmonica.
Harmonica, piano, guitar,
Percussion.
percussion. Okay, so we'll start with those. When you start, where did you start? Was it automatically just Beethoven? Or did you have to start with do, re, mi, fa, do? Okay, how do you tune a harmonica? But you eventually have to start somewhere. So you start with the basics. Everything we do, we start with the basics. Did you pop out of the womb knowing how to spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? No, you didn't even know the alphabet. You started somewhere. You learned these are letters. Letters form words. Words form sentences. Sentences create. That's where you learn. That's what it started with. We did the same thing with speaking, with walking, running, dancing, etc. Not everybody started. Right? Like not everybody just jumps on in. You have to learn the steps. It's not working. You learn shuffle ball chain, clap, clap, step. You start at the beginning. Then you get to a place where I now know the rules. I know every good boy does fine. But I know it not as every good boy does fine. I know it as the actual notes. F-A-C-E. I know it as the notes. I know the difference between the bass and the treble. I know this. I know the difference between one type of drum and another type of drum. I am reaching a space of mastery. And then I reach a space of, I don't even have to think about it. I could put a drum in front of, I could put a harmonica, I could put a flute, I could put a piano, I could put a in front of, and you're able to sit there and play it, to beat it, to blow, to strum, to do, because you have reached the space of mastery. How many of us are still over here with R-U-R-T-R? You know what that is? 5 steps of spiritual mind treatment. How many of us are still here? R, Eugene, what's the, is the R, is it recognized or real? Okay, unification. R-U-R, it sounds like hardy har, but R-U-R-T-R. I know the last one's release. Like, are we still there with spiritual mind treatment? Or have we moved to, I know it well enough that I sometimes move these around. But I still don't feel confident enough that if Gretchen says, do you mind opening us up with prayer? What? Oh, I'm going to look for your coffee cup. I'll be back in a minute. Right? Where do you start? Building the confidence. See, the thing is, and my brother Eugene and I have discussed this on many occasions, the thing is, so often in New Thought, we have been fed off the 99-cent menu of McDonald's. We have thrived off of chicken nuggets rather than a full meal served by Bobby Flay or Gordon Ramsay. At one of those kinds of restaurants where it's a large plate and 1 bean and a slice of carrot and $3,000. Say, what? Like, when do we truly nourish ourselves in the teaching so that we are always in that space of infinite awareness that knows? Holmes said, know what it is, practice it, and live it as a way of life. What was the Japanese word I mentioned at the beginning? Oh, shuhare. Breaking it down. Shu, learn the rules. Shu, ha. Start to engage with the rules differently. Some people will refer, break the rules. Shu, ha, re, re, re. recreate new rules, transcend the rules. Anybody familiar with the Matrix and Neo and Morpheus? There's a space in there where Morpheus is telling him, no, Neo, when you're ready, you won't have to, because some rules are meant to be broken, others are bent. When you know how to speak truth, and I'm not talking about speaking truth to power, I'm talking about speaking truth powerfully. Very different thing.
Yes, yes.
Because if you're speaking truth to power, then that means that person or they have the power. Versus, I know who and what I am, and I speak that divine truth of and for and about both myself and this other person. It's a very different energy. Shu hare, learn the rules, bend the rules, transcend the rules till you step into this new way of showing up as the prayer that you desire to be. When you show up as the person who knows how to navigate any and all situations. There's a C word in our lexicon that none of us want to hear. You know what that word is? Think about it. C ends with an R. None of us want to hear that word. In 2022, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Do you realize, right? As soon as he walked in the room and looked at me and said, that's what it is, test came back, it's definitely, without a doubt, it's prostate cancer. My immediate response was, okay, so what do we do now? And he looked at me like, that's your response? Yes. He said, wait, so I need to make sure that you're not just, no, I'm fine, I understand. Because I know that even if this is the thing that is my exit strategy where I leave this body, move beyond this body, then that is what it is. But I am not going to let this or that diagnosis be the thing that destroys or denounces or decimates what my life is. So my question to you as my doctor is, what do we do next? And then he gave me the options. And I selected surgery. Okay, then that's what we're going to do. No matter what is going on in our lives, we have a means and methodology to navigate all of it.
Yes.
All of it. It doesn't matter what it is. When I was in my former days as a fundamentalist Christian, right? If they could see me now. There was this concept of, is your problem so big that God can't handle it? You got a big problem and a little God? Or is God bigger because you have a big God and a little problem? Now the concept is, for us, God is all there is. That means there is no problem. There is no circumstance, no situation, no experience, no condition that we can't move through, because that which we are is the divine magnificence, the universe itself, love and unity and harmony itself, expressing in, through, and as us. So it doesn't matter what the thing is. And see, part of the thing that we do is, when a problem shows up, we look at the problem like we're sitting in an algebra class for the third time trying to pass that class. Meaning, you won't leave me alone. Meaning, if I ask you 7 plus 3 equals 10, can it equal anything else? 7 plus 3 equals
73.
no, 7 literally the way it's written, 7 plus 3 equals. It's one answer. But if I take the 7 plus 3 away and leave equals 10, how many ways can you get to equals 10?
Infinite.
Infinite. But what does that mean? It means our focus needs to be on the answer. Focus on the solution, not the problem. The problem keeps us small. Even if it was 73, it's still small compared to remove that. And now it's infinite ways to reach. So now, if a world that works for all is the solution, how many ways are we working to create it? If health and well-being of your mind, body, and soul is what you desire, loving relationships, orgasmic bliss in your creativity and your music and life, that's your answered prayer, how many ways do you get to move through and co-create and collaborate and communicate to manifest that?
Infinite.
Infinite. But we must choose that. It's already there. That which God is already here. Just like way back when, caveman. My translation might be off just a smidge, because I haven't spoken caveman in a while, but, you know, pardon. To which cave woman says, just plug the toaster in to make it work. Electricity existed during their era. They simply didn't know how to tap into it. Cell phones and all of the things that create cell phones, all of the ore, all of the machinery, all of the stuff that goes into creating a cell phone existed long before. Which means if we want cell phones where we don't have to have children working slave labor, we also can manifest that. But we have to choose it.
Yes.
We have to actively say, what is it that I desire to experience for myself individually, for my community collectively, for my city, for my state, for my country, for my planet? What is my prayer for planet Earth, for every man, woman, person, child? Because when I say, am I my brother's keeper? You know, God says, where is your brother? Am I my brother's keeper? I am not my brother's keeper. I am not my sister's keeper. I am not my non-gender conforming, gender-rich, non-binary siblings' keeper. I am them, and they are me. We are in this together. There's only one life, and that life is God. And that life is amazing and powerful and beautiful and healing and transformative. And that life is your life now. Not tomorrow, not after that next book, not after those next letters after your name, not after you lose 5 more pounds, not after you get your raise, not after you retire, not after the kids move out and go to college or wherever they're going, because I'm ready for them to go, not after anything. It's now. But we have to choose that awareness. Breathe. And let's enter into that space of prayer. And so in this space of prayer, I choose to begin at the end. I begin with the amen. Amen, that I know that the power that is called God, called source, called spirit, called love, whatever name it is referred to, is the truth of my being. And as I say my, it refers to all. Amen, that this power, this presence, this healing and generative truth, as we say, there is nothing that needs to be healed, only truth to be revealed. This healing and regenerative truth is the truth of my being. Every cell of my body is invigorated by it. The universe itself is this body, this mind, the beating of the heart. Amen, that I feel such gratitude to be able to navigate this thing called life, to go outside and smell flowers and see butterflies, to even be someone who can feel angry about the person driving and changing lanes without using a blinker. Even that, the fact that I can feel, I am grateful for. I am grateful for the tools and techniques that give me a way to navigate that anger so I am not controlled by it. Amen, that I live, move, and have my beingness as an ambassador of peace and peacefulness to such a degree that there is peace on earth, goodwill to all, simply because I walk the earth. And reminder, as I say I refer to all of us as the we that we are as God. Wherever we go, God is. That means the amen is at the gas station, at the supermarket, at the co-op, at the neighborhood garden, at the AA meeting, at the NA meeting, at the school board, at the next elections, at the, doesn't matter, wherever we are, God is. And all must be well because that which God is infinite wellness itself. So amen that I choose to embody this wellness. Amen that I now, not only do I dine from and nourish myself from a rich diet of new thought and spirituality and practices, but I also serve that in how I say hello, how I namaste, how I shake a hand or give a fist bump, how I simply glance at someone and share a mutual inside joke that causes both of us to smile in humor and love and appreciation. Amen that it's all prayer. Amen that it's all God, all love, all joy, all peace. And amen that we, right here, right now, get to choose that and so much more. We need not drink from our cup. When our cup runneth over, we drink from our saucer because the cup runneth over. Amen. Amen that the law says that the law does what it always does. The law doesn't pick and choose what seeds go into the soil. The law says, what? That's what you want? I'm on it. And all of the universe moves and shifts to conspire. The right people sitting by the phones at the right time. The right letters in the mail, the right check in the mail, the right whatever it is that we need to live lives that we don't simply exist, but we thrive. The law is on it. That means it's already done. Knowing that there is only one mind, in that one mind it is already fully formed and fully functioning, no broken parts or pieces missing. The mind of God is not trying to put together a Barbie house where there are some kind of plastic nuts and bolts missing. It's already fully formed and fully functioning. The prayer is done in the one mind. And that one mind is our mind. That means it's done. And so it is.
Yeah.